And you got the win the last time we saw you, obviously back in March. I guess just how important was that? You know, it had been a while. You'd been through some stuff. How big was that for you?
Man, it was real big, man. I needed that. You know, I was off for like almost 2 years, man. I've been off, so I needed that win. You know, especially close to home. It was perfect.
I bet. Could you feel the difference? I mean, after that in yourself. I mean, I know you got to have like self-belief, right? But just to get in that moment, it has to kind of affect you.
Oh no, yeah, yeah. You know, like coming back and then they're calling me for this fight right off the bat. I'm like, let's do it. You know.
I was gonna ask you, a 10-week turnaround. Was that like you making up for lost time, or they just called, or I mean, what? It's happened pretty quick.
They called at the perfect time. You know, I was just getting out of a camp. I was getting fat, and I was like, you know what? Might as well take it. Let's do it. So it was good, man. You know, I just felt like I've been in a long camp. You know.
Well, just say, is it? Sometimes I hear it's beneficial. Sometimes it's challenging, right? Like you didn't get any time to recover, really, I guess. But you can keep the momentum going as well. I guess which one was it most for you?
Yeah, I didn't really get time to recover too much, you know. But I mean, I think it's good, you know, because I didn't really come out with too much, you know, little bumps and bruises there. So I think it was perfect timing, man. And perfect timing, perfect opponent.
Nice. Talk about the opponent. I mean, obviously, Alex, a veteran of the game, been around for a long time. I mean, you have too, but, you know, he's been here for a long time. I guess what are your thoughts on him as an opponent?
Man, I think this opponent we make a perfect matchup. You know, he's a veteran. I mean, I'm a veteran. I'm thinking I'm a veteran. I've been in the game for a long time. So I think it's a good match, man. I think he pushes forward, you know, at the right times. I push forward all the time. So I think we're going to give a hell of a fight.
Yeah. Stylistically, it does. It looks like it's going to be a pretty exciting fight on paper. Do you let yourself go into fights thinking like that? Because that sounds like it's going to be back and forth a little bit.
I think I don't plan on making it back and forth. I plan on just finishing 1 or 2 rounds. So it's going to suck for a lot of people, but I will finish him.
Very nice. So you got a new contract out of the deal as well?
Oh, yeah. That's why I said yes. I was like, you know, a good contract, better contract with a ranked opponent. Let's do it.
I dig it, man. So a win here, as you said, ranked opponent, you know, another name that's known. I mean, is it now I need some time off, or is it like let's just keep this ball rolling?
You keep it going, man. Keep it going. But I do want to take at least one more fight by the end of the year. So, you know, take a couple months off and then not off like off the gym, but off like not trying to cut this weight. That's what kills me is this weight cut.
Hey, man, I remember after your last fight you were saying, look, if I don't get a better deal, you know, I'm kind of wishy-washy. So I'm just getting the sense someone's got a bit of motivation here. You look like you're reignited. Do you feel like now you're being recognized financially by the promotion that you're like, okay, I'm back?
Exactly. You know, and now they start recognizing that I'm finishing everybody. So, you know, that's one thing that people weren't really talking about until, you know, they said something about it and, you know, they're starting to recognize it, you know?
Yeah, is that a funny feeling or even a nice feeling where you're like, you know this fact that like, hey, I'm here, kill or be killed, and then suddenly they mention it on commentary and then the next thing you know is like, oh yeah, this guy does finish every time, like let's go. Is it funny that now you recognize like, oh, I'm being recognized?
Yeah, you know, and that's one thing that I've said. I was like, man, I need to recognize that I go in there to finish everybody, you know? Like I'm not in there to leave it to no judges. It's like when it get finished or I'm going to finish them. That's the way I fight. So, yeah, I'm happy that people are actually recognizing it, you know, that I don't play around. I go into the fight.
Plus a co-main event slot. It's the potential to keep building that recognition, right?
Yeah, you know, now we're in co-main event, and you never know. Might be main event.
Hey, Daniel, back here. I know you don't want to give away too much, but, like, what does a game plan look like for a guy like Alex Caceres that throws all sorts of tricky stuff? Like, I know his last fight against Julian Erosa, he threw, like, his knockout was, like, it was the same side. He threw a punch, and then he threw a head kick from the same side, you know, something that not a lot of guys are able to do, right? So what kind of sparring partners do you have for a guy like that?
I got a couple of southpaws training partners, you know. Honestly, man, I don't really look at what he does. I keep to my game, and I'm going to keep pushing my game. You know, my game is coming forward, putting pressure on him, and try to finish him, you know. So I don't like looking at my opponents because then I start thinking about what they're going to do. I like keeping to my game plan. My game plan is pushing forward and finishing him. If it's by knocking him out or submitting him, whatever he chooses.
And I've talked to him in the past, and he kind of says the same thing. He says, I don't watch a lot of fights. He says, I kind of just play video games. What do you think about that?
Man, that's cool because, I mean, I play video games too. You know, after this fight, we'll play video games together. But it's crazy, man. Whenever you when you start watching your opponent too much, then you start thinking too much about what they're good at. You know what I'm saying? You just got to go in there and go do what you're good at and just push forward, man, you know? Do your game plan, you know? And my game plan is what? Finish everybody.